I'm done, Cole. I spoke to a lawyer. I want half of everything.
Half? You mean half of the debt? Because that's mostly what we own.
Don't play dumb. The house, the cars, the investments, I know what you make.
The house has 10% equity. The rest is owned by the bank. You want half the mortgage payments too?
It doesn't matter. It's a no-fault state. The judge will give me alimony.
We've been married 3 years. Alimony is for long-term dependents, not a lottery ticket for a short ride.
I supported your dreams. I sacrificed my best years.
Sacrifice? You lived rent-free, drove a leased Rover, and didn't work. That's not sacrifice. That's a vacation.
My lawyer is going to destroy you. He costs $500 an hour.
And who do you think is paying for him? My credit card. You're burning the pile you're trying to steal.
Take half the furniture, take the leased car, just sign the papers. I'm buying my freedom.
You're just going to let me walk away? You don't even fight for us?
I don't fight for hostages. I negotiate their release. The money I can make back, the time I spent on this drama, that's gone forever. Freedom is expensive, but regret.
Third and fourth wave feminist ideology. There's some toxic components to it. There's a particular viewpoint of how they tend to view and frame situations involving men or women. If you have a woman that self-identifies as that is a therapist, that's doing one-on-one sessions, doing family sessions, and is doing couples counseling, and she tends to lean more on the side of women than she does men, could you see a scenario where she may potentially not be helping when it comes to the desired outcomes? If the man wants the relationship to work and she's focusing primarily on how the woman feels in the moment. And men talk about all the time when they go into couples therapy, it feels like they're getting jumped. It's just a tag team.
Yep.
Where we're just listening to her vent all the time. I'm having to defend myself. And every time I say any one or two little things, we're now dealing with her emotions over what I said, even if it was true. That's a lot of men's actual experiences.
What's alarming is you'll have some of these women say this outright. Some of these therapists say this outright. My mission is to advocate for women, da 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 da. Then why are you taking male clients? How are you helping male clients if you're advocating for women? Right? The bias, even though you don't think that you have one, the bias is creeping up. Now, there are some women out there that do a great job of saying, well, I believe this, but here's what my job requires. A lot of these therapists out there cannot separate what they need to be doing professionally versus how they feel personally. And the man, as he's describing right here, suffers for it. The man has to sit up there for the next 45 minutes to an hour listening to two people who honestly and truly are in their feelings talk about what he should be doing and what he should be improving on. And at the end of the session, in order for her as a therapist to show some sort of equality, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, now, Regina, for you this week, I want you to really focus in and it be some cookie cutter lesson that she's been learning. But you never really get down to the root cause of why she's doing what she's doing and the disrespect that the man is saying, well, dang, I mean, I'm doing the deep work here. I'm doing the inner work here. And you're giving her like patty cake stuff. Like, when we going to start addressing some of her issues? We're going to address her issues in a minute. But first, we're going to take care of yours. And y'all spend weeks upon weeks and months upon months and even years discussing what you got going on. And she might take a couple of days here and there to discuss her event or what's going on with her. But it's mainly about you. And that's why men get frustrated by it, because like this is a sham operation you got going on here.
Can a man on this app explain to me why I'll be just like walking through a bar and a guy will like put out his hand to fist bump me and I'll fist bump them and I'll just keep walking, they don't stop me? And this happened to me like a few times last night where I was just walking, like just got my drink walking, they put out their hand, fist bump, and I just keep walking, they don't say anything. Like, what, do they want me to stop? Like, why, do they just want to like touch knucks? Like, what's the phenomenon? Like, what's the obsession with like what does that mean? Can a man on this app explain what the, like, he doesn't say anything. He just, hello?
Not a guy, obviously, but I've been given a lot of their secrets, so I think I can answer this. All that a fist pump like this means is that you're cool and you're adding to a cool vibe. But he doesn't need to talk to you unless you want to talk to him. It's like today's version of tipping your hat. It's an acknowledgement that doesn't require any follow-up. But if you did want to say, "What's up?" that would be fine too. In other words, it's just an opening. Respond if you want to, don't if you don't.
What is a man?
I'm not really sure, like, the technical definition. I've never been like, well, does he have balls? What if he loses a ball? I don't know. What if he only has one ball? Is he still a man? I'm not really sure. In high school, there was a kid and he got a soccer ball, hit him in the nuts, and one popped. Is he still a man? I have no idea. Do you think if a man has one nut, he's still a man? I don't know.
Amazing. Are you done?
I mean, this is not a trick question. If a woman goes through chemo and she has breast cancer, right? And she has to have that cancer removed, she's still a woman. She has all the tissue from her breast removed. She could have both of them removed, for that matter. And she's still, in fact, a woman. It is not that hard.
Men are very simple. It's 5 needs of a man, not necessarily in his order, but usually in his order. And depending on how old he gets, some of these things may drop off. But typically, for a younger man, he has a need for fulfillment. Usually the first is he has a need for an attractive spouse. His definition of pretty, not your definition of pretty. As my wife said, my husband got to look at me all day. I don't have to look at me all day. I know some of the stuff I say is crazy. I feel really weird right now, but I'm just keep on going in this weirdness. You can tell when you're a member of a Pentecostal church. They just keep edging the preacher on. You go to a Catholic church, they just sit there and listen to the message. You know, Pentecostal church is crazy. Okay? He has a need for an attractive spouse. His definition of attraction. Every man has a particular taste. Now, what you see in the magazine, you be honest. I know this is carnal, but I'll be honest. Have you ever, ladies, you ever seen a man with a lady? You're like, what in the world does he see in her? This is kind of abstract, but it kind of falls in this category. Bishop Oyedepo said this, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You were not in my eyes when I saw this vision, so don't try to interpret what you think I saw."
So you're saying people only have a problem with me not being allowed to do certain things by my husband unless it's something that's obviously beneficial. Like if I say I'm not allowed to open my own doors because my husband is going to open my doors for me, people will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so sweet." If I say my husband doesn't allow me to go to the gas station at night at 11 p.m. to pump gas, I should have gotten it earlier in the day or wait till the next morning or have him come and pump my gas at night. People are like, "Well, yeah, duh, that's obvious." However, if I say my husband won't allow me to go to the gym wearing up the butt scrunch leggings and a sports bra, people are like, "Why would you let him tell you what to do?" Truth of the matter, it's not the word allow that people are offended by. It's my husband won't allow me to. It's the husband part. They don't see their husbands as authorities. Usually they don't have a husband, but they don't see husbands in general as authority over their wife or leader, protector, provider, none of that.
Women don't know how to have a man's back. They think it means I'll back you up when you're right. But it's just survival instinct. If I'm on a horse and it's slowing down and a faster one is passing, I'll jump. I'll even push somebody off to get that horse. The survival instincts have us be disloyal, have us betray. But it's till death do us part when your husband is in a decline to stay devoted. That is a victory of human spirit, to be devoted without vote. I'm not voting in or out anymore. I give up my vote. I'm all in. To be all in is huge. And men get accused of being the ones that are unfaithful, but we're equally, if not more. We lose confidence. That's what confidence means, with faith.
Right.
We lose confidence and then we be unfaithful. Infidelity, whether it's emotional or mental, or there's all kinds of ways that we do that. But it's instinct.
Anything men can do, we can do better. Oh, the heck? That's a lot of ice and snow. I never thought about how that job would be, yeah. Oh my gosh. I would hate it. Not only is it difficult and very high up, but it's freezing. Oh. Look at that. Reject delusions. Embrace gender differences.
What feminism has done for us is destroy the nuclear family, increase divorce, fuel trafficking through the industry, increase the spread of transmitted diseases, increase male and female and depression rates. And 1/3 of my generation was not given the opportunity to live because their mothers chose to do what was best for them. If you're trying to apply that women wouldn't be able to freely speak on social media without feminism, that is also false. Women were publicly sharing their opinions long before feminism. Women had bank accounts before feminism. Feminism didn't give women bank accounts. Women could own property as single women or widows. Women's colleges existed before first wave feminism, many that were founded by Christians. Women have always worked, whether in agriculture, trades, nursing, teaching, telephone operator, domestic services. Working class women literally had to work in order to survive. So no, feminism didn't give women the opportunity to work, but it did push women to reform work, prioritizing career over family-centered labor.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
Men grow up their whole life being taught how to treat a woman, but never being taught what to expect from one. And women grow up their whole life being taught what to expect from a man, but never taught how to treat one.
And that imbalance is quietly destroying all modern relationships. Because from a young age, men are taught to open doors, pull out chairs, be patient, be understanding, be accommodating, prioritize her needs, and absorb her complaints. But no one ever teaches him how to set boundaries. No one ever teaches him that his needs, his desires, his emotional safety actually matter too. So he grows up overgiving, overfunctioning, self-abandoning. And when he finally starts to feel that all his efforts are unseen, unappreciated, and most importantly, unreciprocated, when he finally realizes that they are not going to treat him the way that he treats them, he doesn't explode. He goes quiet. He withdraws. When he does this, that withdrawal gets labeled as emotional unavailability, disinterest, as him not caring anymore. So what does she do? She goes and vents to her friends. And what do? They all validate her feelings, tell her she deserves more. And we all know what path that leads to. But what never gets examined, the question that women never seem to ask, what could she do to make things better? What did he need and never received? This is why most relationships get to a point where they are filled with resentment instead of love and attraction. And that's where men stop showing up, not because they don't care, but because caring has cost them too much for too long. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. A man who's knows his value stops chasing her approval, stops trying to do anything he can to make her happy. He starts setting his boundaries, his standards. And when he does, this type of dynamic either rises to meet him where he's at, or he will walk away because a toxic relationship like that is far beneath him. And that's not arrogance. It's self-respect and self-care. Something that men have been taught they are not allowed to do for far too long now. Stay strong, Kings.
Edgar Allan Poe, he has a poem and he said, years of love forgot in the hatred of a moment. That's how women think. Years of love is forgotten in the hatred of a moment. That moment is the most important. Like that, it don't matter. You could have just bought her a helicopter 3 days ago. She forgot about it. That it's just that moment, like how they feel at that time. She's willing to throw away everything just for that hatred. Like, I hate you right now. Like how I feel right now is the most important. Again, it negates all intellect, it negates all logic, it negates all intelligence. It's really just, the feelings are not even, a lot of times they're not even real.
Part of the reason that I decided to be a single mom by choice, Carlos King, and use a donor and not have a father for Liberty, not use a friend, not have a co-parenting situation is because I knew my circumstances professionally would put me in Candy's exact situation.
So sad. So sad. She's saying this, but she doesn't realize that her daughter is one day going to say, I wonder why my mom didn't prioritize having a father for me. And she's admitting here on camera that part of the reason is because she just didn't want to lose her money. Like, come on. I mean, really think about that. Not only is that selfish, if you ask me, I believe it's selfish. What do you think? If you guys disagree, comment down below. Not only is it selfish, and listen, I would say the same thing if a man did this. If he went this route, because I believe children need both parents. They need mother and father. Now, society stresses the mother, and here you have her saying she's doing all this amazing things. All of a sudden, the household duties and being a stay-at-home significant other has no significance all of a sudden. But this is sad. And what this also teaches is this is why a lot of people believe that, no, you can't do what a man can do. You can't handle the pressure, the stress of being the boss, because then you'd have to pay the cost of being the boss. Of being the boss, babe. And no, that's not me saying that everybody should be on child support. We all know that it's mostly a scam that needs to be revisited on almost every front, but it exists. And right now, that's how children are taken care of. But do you think that Ebony K. Williams wants to be at risk of maybe losing her money and then being potentially locked up in jail because she can't? Come on, bro. Of course not.
And that I would very possibly end up paying child support for my own daughter. Absolutely. Excuse me. I would easily be in a position to have to go in front of a judge looking just like this and plead my own case for my own daughter that I carried and birthed to say, despite my travel schedule, my work schedule, my sometimes lack of real-time availability, I assure you I can make sure all of her needs are met, because that opens the door, Carlos, for exactly this, where a father, despite the relationship between me and the father, despite what we even previously agreed to, could then say, Your Honor, look at her. She's outside. She might be outside for very wonderful, noble reasons, but she's away from home.
Extremely sad. Extremely sad. But you know, what can you do? You know, I mean, it's America, so you got to defend their right to be stupid. Got to defend their right to be losers. I don't know if this is what the men and women in the military fought for, but nevertheless, it gets included in the benefits of being an American.
Because a man can't be a man when he's saddled down up to his neck in debt with a dissatisfied woman who don't give a damn. She want more and more and more. Let me tell you something, woman. You don't want no man like me. You couldn't live with a man like me. Because I would not take that damn foolishness from one of you. For 1 minute I drive you to the door. I don't like no woman to dominate no man. You'll never be a happy woman dogging your man out. He's not a man yet, but he will be. But if you keep on dogging him, you won't have nothing, and you'll end up being a lesbian at home with yourself, with no man by your side because your damn mouth.
Genuinely wondering, are there any good straight men? Like, do they exist?
There are, yeah, but they're running away from you. They can see you coming. They know what this means. These are bird hands. They look like a beak, and you make little pecking motions with them, and sometimes you do this. You open and close for emphasis. And bird hands are what snotty, entitled women do when they're wrong and they plan to be loud about it. Look, I don't consider myself much of a catch, at least not anymore. I think I expired a long time ago. But even I would not put up with this. You're looking for good straight men, but the second-rate straight men are running. Take a look at yourself. I know it's hard, but imagine that you are a good straight man and you come home from work to a bunch of this. Here's what you need to do. Imagine you share your feelings with your fiancé and she gives you this face. This is the, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Imagine you're having an argument and she flashes you one of these. This is the, how could you be so wrong? How could you even be? Look at your face. Look at yourself. Do you like you right now? Do you think I like you right now? I don't. And if I don't like you, I would probably be under here if you saw me in real life. If I don't like you, why would the good ones like you? A lot of women have been convinced somehow that their behavior doesn't have anything to do with what they deserve from men, and that's good for your self-esteem or whatever, but none of us agree. Your behavior is very important to us. No one who sees you act like this is going to go, oh, perfect, there's my future wife. I can't wait to sign my finances over to this. I want to date the girl who just said that all men are bad, because I'm sure that attitude is going to skip right over me, because I'm an idiot. So yeah, there are good straight men. I might have even been one at one point, kind of. But even now, I'm not lining up to be talked to like a child or a moron.
Let me know in the comments. Like, just let me know. Like, do they exist? Like, is that real? Like, are there any good men? Like, or do I need to just force myself to be lesbian at this point? Like, I'm just wondering.
Oh, you should do that and then come back and let us know if you found any good women or if it was you and you have to work on yourself. So if you want a good one, then you have to be a good one, and that means giving us the stuff that we want, which includes your habits and your choices and your beliefs and so on. So, got your work cut out for you. Oh, and watch out for this. Bird hands are nature's way of saying, don't spend money on me. Don't forget to go to itishellmath.com. I'm finally making clips of all my stuff and translating them, so tell your friends who don't speak English somehow.
What is it that a woman needs or should or is not doing? All those three things for a man to be able to open up, like really open.
Women are about themselves. You're about your own emotions. You're about how you land, how you feel. You're not about how we feel. You think you are, but you're not. You know, there's many messages that I read from women, yeah, and their messages is all about them. They're wrapped up in them. Yeah, but if you done this, and yeah, but if it was said like, no, but maybe it's not said like that. Maybe it's not done like that. Maybe you're not seeing it in the right perspective. And you know what? Men have a hard time trying to open up to other men. So when a woman comes along with all of this, we definitely ain't gonna open up to you. Because you lot think you know everything. You lot think that you are superior in this. You lot think that you can't do nothing wrong or say nothing wrong. So you know what we do? We just shut up. We coil up. We crack on. Why? Because it's easier to do that than try to explain ourselves before we actually even talk about our problem. We have to make you understand before you can overstand. Do you know how exhausting that is? It's exhausting. And that's why we choose not to. And when everybody can start to understand this, or actually say, you know what, this is not a battle, let's find a solution, things can be better. Because everything seems like a battle when it comes to a man. That's the real.
She don't want me, I don't care. She don't want to talk to me, I don't care. She don't want to hang out with me, I don't care. She don't want to call me, I don't care. She don't think I look good, I don't care. She choose another man over me, I don't care. And the reason why is because I know that I'm that guy outside of how any woman acts towards me and outside of what any woman thinks about me. And also, if she don't see that, that's not the type of woman I want to be with anyway. Because I deserve to be with a woman that values me, loves me, and respects me. And if she can't do those three things, I don't want to be with her anyway. And let me tell you something that a lot of y'all don't know. Not every woman has to do any of those things for you, if even one. You need to find the one that does do those things. That's the only woman that matters to you.
I heard somebody say that they don't appreciate what you're doing for them because you're not the person that they want it from. And that one hurt.
Straight facts, the unspoken truth.
There is no number of women that makes a woman feel as safe as one man that she knows is for her. And this is why this thing we were talking about, attraction versus charmed and enchanted, if a woman is leading with and bringing out take energy in men, they're either scary or she's sure she can manipulate them, but she's still not going to feel safe. Where if he's charmed and enchanted by her, which causes a man to care, which is you guys closely guard caring. Something else I learned from men, you know it's your biggest expenditure of energy. And it has this paradox, which is another thing I love about you all. You're the walking resolution of paradoxes. All the time. Women think men are simple. Men even say men are simple. No, you...
Baby, let me tell you something. There is nothing more than a man that pays for your gas and pumps it. Understand what I'm saying, baby? Let me tell you something. Baby, my husband got up early as hell. I'm talking about, baby, at about 6:57 in the morning. And he went and filled up my gas tank. That's shit. Baby, what? You woke up at what time? You paid for my gas. You pumped it. And you brought it back to me. So I can have a smooth day. See, that's the type of things real women appreciate. Things like that. And to my husband, I just want to tell you, baby, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you did that for me this morning because you wanted me to have a smooth day. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Spanish women, they're raised to be a wife.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent. Remember, let's be real.
Say that again?
Most black women are raised to be strong, tough, independent, and don't take no shit. The daddy wasn't shit. I raised you alone by myself. Be a strong black woman. So they come into the game with their guard up ready. Now, a Spanish girl is raised to serve.
Yeah.
They be cooking for their father at a young age, washing the dishes, washing the table, mopping all Saturday morning. Let's face it, they're raised to serve. If one time I swear to God, I'm at a girl's house having dinner. I got her with my own plate, put it in the garbage, put it in the sink. Her mom spazzed on her in Spanish about da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, in the black woman's house, if I get up with my own plate, she gonna say, that's a damn good. He got his own. I like him, Shirley.
He said it all.
You know, in truth, you should have a level of competence and be able to do certain things. I don't mind you being independent. I don't mind you not needing your husband, right? It's really the attitude that comes with it. And you do. I've actually seen this with white women. I've seen this with Hispanic women. I've seen this with Asian women, black women. It doesn't matter. I've seen them all shapes and sizes, biracial, mixed. It don't matter. And they all, depending on where they come from, depending on who they hang around, they have the same bad attitude. And I know they like to say most black women raised single mothers statistically. I think that's true, if I remember the statistics correctly. But what what I fear is you have women out, women in Australia and some in China. You know, they speak a totally different language, but they are somehow, even with a different culture, or supposed to be a different culture, more so a culture of like order and respect, right? Even if as an American you don't agree with some of the ideologies and values, there it's supposed to be different in some of these places. But then you listen to some of these ladies talk, and then you're like, man, like you sound like women back home. You sound like some of these ladies back at the house. This is what I left to get away from, right? Or this is what I would, if I would go there, I would leave to get away from this. It's a cancer. It's a disease that's spreading where these women continue to think, okay, I got it. I don't need you anymore because I'm able to do this. I'm able to do that. Because I'm able to earn financially, then I can talk to you crazy. I can talk to you sideways. I don't need you to provide for my house because the house is already built. Never mind the man saying, well, who built the house? It doesn't matter. It's built and I can maintain it. Or if I can't maintain it myself, I can find somebody to maintain it. Well, yeah, true, but who's going to maintain it for you? Well, I'll get a man. Right. But if you're talking to the man crazy and sideways, then would he maintain it for you? Well, if I have enough money, right. But to have money, you have to have work. You have to have a job, and you have to have somewhere to work. Where are you going to work at if the men are not maintaining the structures that you go to work in? Well, I work from home. I will ask you the question again. Where are you going to be working if men are not maintaining the structures for you to work in? Well, it doesn't matter because women are the best and we'll find women. There are not many women statistically in those fields, and they will start to price gouge you because they can, because they are the only ones in the field and there's not a lot of them. And they're going to have a lot of requests. They're going to have a lot of business, and you're going to have to pay the premium because there is nobody left. It's a simple monopoly, simple economics, and you are going to run out of money because these women are few and far in between, and they can price gouge, and you cannot get the money fast enough. But you're going to need the maintenance once again, because your house is going to break down. So you need the men. So you basically need to stop saying, I don't need a man. I'm strong and independent. That's foolishness. And I think you know that.
A man with no crew, he's not weird. He's not bitter. He's focused. And focused men are the hardest to beat. Let me explain. We're going to talk about the guy who doesn't run in a pack. The one you rarely see in group photos. The one who moves alone. People think he's antisocial, maybe even arrogant. He's strategic. Because when you think about it, let me just break down the truth. Most men waste their energy trying to impress other men. Always needing a crew. Always needing validation. Always taking big in front of their boys. But the man who's comfortable being alone, that's a man who's locked in on his purpose. He's not out here every weekend proving he's one of the guys. He's building. He's working. That man is thinking 3 steps ahead. And that makes him dangerous. Because he's not distracted by fake loyalty or people secretly waiting for him to fail. Nah, he's not distracted by none of that. You see, because a man with no crew can't be betrayed, can't be manipulated, and can't be moved by opinions. He doesn't need to be liked. He needs to win. So yeah, laugh at him for eating alone, or skipping the hangouts, or hanging with the boys. But remember this. The hangouts, him being alone, while the crowd is partying, that lone wolf is hunting. And when he show up, He shows up with results that speak louder than any hype man ever could speak. And if you're that man or you're becoming him, let me know in the comments, because this is about building power, not just proving you have it.
Is that it cannot accommodate motherhood, because the nature of being a mother is that you have enormous obligations to your baby. You have an incredibly strong link, to the extent that you can't really understand a mother or a baby as being individuals. They're a dyad. And if your goal is to promote women's freedom, you can't reconcile that with the existence of the dyad. How do you accommodate that within an ideology that sees the freedom of the individual as the most important thing? So basically you end up just rejecting motherhood, is basically what's happened. And we're even getting to the point now where liberal feminism is rejecting the female body, full stop. You know, we now have the medical technology that will allow women to use a surrogate if you don't want to be pregnant yourself. If freedom is your goal, then the human body is very much an impediment. And this has produced a kind of politics where actually the use of other people's bodies, often the bodies of poorer people, is seen as a completely reasonable sort of self-actualization project. And the idea of having any social guardrails, any tradition, anything sacred is also fair game. And I'm not convinced at all that that ideology is in the best interest of women, even if it may be in the best interest of a few women who are unusually powerful, etc. So I think the biggest losers of the sexual revolution have been poor women, specifically.
Honey, what are you bringing him?
I'm hyper independent. Like, I have literally lived in 5 different cities by the time I was 30, and I moved every single time by myself. I also bought a place when I was 25, a mortgage on my own. I know how to do electrical work. I know how to patch drywall. Like, as long as I have a YouTube video, I'm good. I own my own business. I set up an LLC. I'm literally doing all these things. And when a man is literally trying to pen pal with me just to be casual, like, it gives me the ick, because like, what the f? What do you have to offer? Oh, you paid for my dinner? Oh, you paid for my drinks? You paid for my trip? Okay, like, I can do that myself. The appeal is not there. Unless a man is truly making my life significantly easier, I would rather be single than be in bad company.
It's totally unappealing to men. Totally unappealing to men to say, I don't need you. I've got it all covered. Because then why would they pick you? They want to feel needed. They want to feel appreciated, right? And they want to feel valued for the masculine things that they bring to the table that you're not supposed to be doing, right? Because it's supposed to be a complementary pair. The problem here is she's not doing anything feminine.
It took me 10 years to understand why history rarely produces female leaders. But once you see this, you can't ever unsee it again. Leadership requires self-sacrifice. Evolution wired women for one thing, self-preservation. But a leader walks into the fire first. A leader bleeds so others don't have to. But a woman's entire biology is optimized for one thing and one thing alone. It's protecting herself and her offspring at all costs. Ask a woman for emotional support when your business is collapsing, and you're going to notice a dark truth. She's going to have zero empathy for you, and she's going to start to despise you, not because she's cruel, but because her survival software is assessing whether you're still viable for her. This is why men are the leaders. Someone had to face the barbarian hordes at the gate, even when survival was never on the menu.
And that's really the long and short of it. Men have to fall on the sword. They have to fall on the sword. At the end of the day, you're always in society going to come up against, okay, there's got to be a decision made, and it's unavoidable. We can't get around it. What are we going to do? Somebody has got to go through the fire in order for the whole group to get across. And guess who people usually look at to do that? The man. The man is going to sacrifice. Well, the woman, well, I can stay back and take care of the babies. We know what you're going to do. We're aware of what you're thinking. Oh, that's what men keep on saying. I know. Out of all that talking, at the end of the day, I already know what you're going to do. You're going to say, well, you can go down there and check to see who's in this house. Make sure we're safe. Make sure we're secure. I'm not even going to ask what goes into that, because I don't care. What I'm going to do is leave that to you. And I'm going to leave that to you on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. Modern women can be across state lines, and they still expect a man to be able to make them feel safe and secure. It's almost like a man needs to have a blanketed network, almost like he's AT&T. like a cellular service or a cell phone service provider. You need to have nationwide coverage. And also, honestly, you need to have roaming coverage, roaming ability, friends in different area codes in different places so that I can feel safe anywhere I go. A man has to figure out how to keep you safe across state and country lines in foreign and domestic situations. And you think that's an exaggeration, but that's what y'all be expecting of the man. But then you get mad when you have to call the doctor and say, hey, need to come in for an appointment for my babies, my kids. You get mad when you got to cook some chicken nuggets and some fries. When you got to throw some fish sticks in the air fryer. You get mad. You get mad when you got to make some mac and cheese, some Kraft mac and cheese, by the way, which takes 5 minutes. Kraft mac and cheese, fish sticks, and maybe some canned green beans that also take 5 minutes. Oh, this is so hard. Right here, I got one pot over here cooking the mac and cheese, and I got a pot over here cooking the green beans, and it's so incredibly hard. Mom, lying. Shut your stupid behind up. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing that's that hard. Thank you for feeding my babies. I appreciate that. But you're not doing anything that's going to be like, oh my God. I spent some time today. It takes 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, that's what they be advertising. This is quick. You got kiddos, buy this. And here's the thing. You just mix it up, let it go for this long, and it should be ready in 5 to 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes on the mac and cheese. You telling me you can't get out a pot of water or another pan right there, put it on medium to high heat, and throw some salt and pepper on them greens? I mean, if you want to be fancy, you can throw some butter. If you want to be super fancy, you can throw some garlic butter on it. Sam's Club has that. And you can go get, you don't even have to mix it. You can go get it from Sam's Club. They already got it mixed for you. I know you already got one. I know you got a membership to Costco and Sam's. I already know you got it. And some of y'all got Plus. Some of y'all got the executive membership. So I know you can walk in there and do it. And I know you want the best for your baby. So you go in there and you get the milk, and instead of the water, you put the milk in there. Stir it all around in the mac and cheese and make it really, I really make it up, and I know y'all do that. It's still going to be the same. Heat that air fryer up. Let that air fryer do its thing. Preheat it. And then by the time it's done, all you got to do is throw them things on the tray that it comes with and let it go. How is that hard? It's going to take probably like 20, 30 minutes for the fish sticks to cook if everything is preheated. Read on the back of the package. If you want to do something, you really like to let your fish sticks cook, put them in the oven and bake it. It's not going to be that hard, 45 minutes. By the time the fish sticks get done, your mac and cheese been sitting on the stove, you put it on a simmer, it's sitting there. By the time your green beans already done, sitting on the stove, simmer. And then you got them like a little treat, some cookies or something like that, half a cookie if you don't want your kids acting crazy. It's that simple. Y'all be doing too much, man. Y'all be thinking that y'all job is the hardest job in the world and all that other nonsense. It's not. It's not. Drop this attitude. Drop this nonsense.
What does it mean when a guy says he doesn't like you? I don't understand.
Understand what? He said he didn't like you. That means he doesn't like you. That you're not his type. Not who he wants to be with. It's not a puzzle. It's not a test. It's not a trick. He wouldn't say, I don't like you if he secretly liked you.
I always go to you. When I feel like I heard something, a word from the Lord, I'm bringing it to you. That's what you need to do, ladies. Okay? Yeah. If you feel like you heard something and the Holy Spirit spoke to you about something, take it to the head. Take it right on to your husband, whether he a babe in Christ or not.
What? Should I take it to my pastor?
You silly. You know what?
I take it to the spiritual leader, the governing of the church. I take that.
Especially if you taking it to the governor of the church or your pastor, but then your husband is saying something different than your pastor, and now that's just a whole mess. You got to go with what your husband said, and if your husband is wrong, God will correct him.
God will. Alan and Eve here to help you believe
that marriage is not a game.
Talk to him, girl.
How does feminism kill a nation? Political analyst Helen Andrews assigns a collapse to the great feminization, essentially the systematic importing of women and their feminine traits into historically masculine institutions. As we know, institutions are just groups of people, and when those groups are dominated by women, those institutions begin to function according to feminine impulses. Let me just give you a few examples. Law schools went majority female in 2016. Medical schools followed in 2019. University faculty became majority female by 2023. 54% of the Associated Press is now female. College graduates are now 60% women. HR departments across Fortune 500 companies are 75 to 85% female. Psychology majors, 80% female. Public school teachers, 77% female. Many of the culturally shaping institutions in America are now dominated by women. Andrews notes, institutions run by large numbers of women shift the culture from confrontation to consensus, from competition to accommodation, from principle to sentiment. Now, this isn't an insult. This is just biology. Women rank significantly higher in agreeableness and empathy and conflict avoidance compared to men. So, what happens when feminine traits dominate fields that require ruthless consistency and raw truths like law or governance or politics or military or police or academia or theology? Well, you get a nation governed by feelings, not convictions. You get emotional management, not moral clarity. The priorities of masculine resolve and advancement shift toward bureaucracy and meetings, and everybody is constantly concerned, and HR swells. Disagreements, are essentially rebranded as aggression. Tolerance becomes a virtue, and success becomes secondary to managing people's feelings. G.K. Chesterton once said, civilizations crumble when they forget obvious truths. That is, biblically and historically, none of this should surprise us. Men are designed by God to rule, build, and protect. Women are designed to nurture, support, and stabilize households. So the rise of feminism is directly correlated with the decline of American strength. Now, if I had to sum up this whole thing in one sentence, it would be this: a nation cannot survive when it denies nature.
So imagine being a man and taking care of your responsibilities, meeting your children, and then having another child. Except this child is grown. And this child just so happens to be your woman, right? Having tantrums, not cooperative, argumentative, always has an issue, nothing can never be right, nags all day long, right? But then this adult child wants you to be a man and a provider and take care of everything. She wants to give you crumbs in return. And the reason why a lot of men are frustrated nowadays is because they're dealing with grown children that throw tantrums whenever they don't get what they want and are very manipulative to try to get what they want, and then will blame everything on the man when it falls apart and it doesn't work out. I just be like, when do women get tired of blaming everything on men? When do we look in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable and realize that we too may be a part of the issue and the problem? When do we realize that men have better things to do than have another child that's an adult? I need some of y'all ladies to put y'all big girl panties on and grow up, for sure.
I don't make compromises in my marriage. I don't compromise anything. Anything I want to do, I absolutely am able to go and do it. Patriarchy teaches women that marriage is full of sacrifice, relationships are full of sacrifice and compromise, when that's often catered towards the man. It's catered towards his career, his goals, his dreams, how many children he wants. Women literally can't even control their own bodies, right? Because what if their husband wants something in the future from them? As a woman, you should never make compromises in order to be with a man. You should do what you want to do, pursue the life that you want to pursue, and if it doesn't work for him, don't make sacrifices for him. Don't change your life so that you can keep a man. And I'm talking from the big things to the little things, from where you live to what you do on the weekends. Because if he doesn't enjoy it, if it's a compromise to him to have to do what you want to do, then I don't think he enjoys your company all that much. This isn't me saying you never do things he likes and you only ever do things you like and he hates. It's me saying that it should never feel like a compromise. What my husband and I do with our free time together or on the weekend together as a family or just with each other on date nights, it never, ever, ever feels like a compromise because it's not. Because we align and because he wants to do what I want to do. Because he likes to be around me. Does that make sense?
Not because he doesn't want to do the stuff that you like, it means that he doesn't like you. Compromising is a good thing.
You don't know it yet, but you sound like an idiot. Straight up. You don't know it yet, but you sound like an idiot.